those who are seeking asylum in the United States. So we're going to talk those through. And welcome, and feel free to bring any questions that you have as I'm going, because we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, and thanks to everybody that's tuning in right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Thank you. Hello and welcome. So remember, the Empowered Immigrant Live is here to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration laws and to make the most out of their lives. Okay? Today I'm here talking about Biden's asylum bans. Okay, so we're going to talk about changes that have happened in the last couple of years under the Biden administration restricting people's rights to apply for asylum, which is surprising and discouraging, actually, under the current administration. But it is what it is. And so we've got to know what it is so that we can act accordingly and so that we can respond accordingly and be prepared for these types of arguments if we're in immigration court fighting an asylum case. All right? My question, as always, is, hey, do you want to get a green card or apply for a green card this year? Do you want to apply for citizenship this year? Do you want to apply for a visa of some kind, U visa, T visa, something like that this year? Do you want to apply for asylum or cancellation this year? Is this year your year? All right? Because it's like September 24th today of 2024, and the year is 3/4 of the way done. All right? We're pretty much almost in October. And so less than a week away from the month of October, Q4 of the year. And so it's like, oh man, if this year is your year in any way, even if you just want to know, even if you just want to see what your immigration options are, I'd love to help you with that. My best advice is to go for that, at least get good advice about your situation. My firm is on a mission to win 10,000 immigration cases by 2035. We'd love for your case to be one of them, if that makes sense for you. And so anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for being with me live here on today's episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Okay? So if you're just tuning in, welcome. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream, located in the beautiful city of Oakland, California, and we help clients throughout the United States and throughout the world fight for their immigration status. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Some news this morning. This new parole in place program, keeping families together, it is paused. All right, I created a video recently, yesterday, I think, showing that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals has issued a stay on the Biden parole in place program. Now, in addition to the stay from the lower court. So we're fighting the same case at two levels. One is at the lower court, the district court level, and one is at the circuit court level, which is the appeals court level. And now both of those courts have issued an administrative stay on this program. The Court of Appeals stay, according to the language in their order, is until they issue a decision regarding the stay, and they have a hearing about that issue on October 10th. Okay? And so Biden PIP still in the same situation that we've been in. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, you have 10 years in the U.S., it's like you can still apply, you just can't have your case adjudicated. And now it's stayed additionally through October 10th. So there we go. That's that news. Okay? And if you want additional updates, etc. about that, please subscribe to our channel in YouTube. It's the best way to stay in the know. It's the best way to stay informed about what is happening with the Biden PIP program. It's the best way to stay informed, at least from my firm, all right? Because we upload additional videos, trainings, etc. as there is news about Biden PIP and other immigration issues, okay? That's all I got for that. Now I'm going to talk about our topic for today. Our topic for today are the Biden asylum bans. Okay? So we're talking about the circumventing legal pathways ban and the securing the border ban. These are two legal challenges to asylum, legal restrictions is a better word, to asylum that have happened under the Biden administration. In our firm, we had a training in our office. David, an attorney in my office, did a training for our legal team on Tuesday of last week. I decided it's an important topic, so I wanted to share my own kind of synopsis of that here with each of you. Okay? So the Biden administration has created two new asylum bans that are in effect right now at the border. They affect border processing. Okay? The first one is called circumventing legal pathways. All right, CLP is the acronym. If you circumventing legal pathways is the name of it. All right, if you're working with an immigration attorney fighting for asylum, maybe they've shared this with you. What does this say? Basically says that the Biden administration has created a CBP-1 app, all right, and they've created various parole processes, especially for the newest ones are for citizens of Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Cuba, all right, as well as Ukraine and Afghanistan, sort of, for Afghanistan. You know, because they have these programs, all right, because they have these programs, then the CBP-1 app is the way to schedule an appointment with Border Patrol to present an asylum case. It's like because they have these programs, they're basically requiring that people use those programs. And they're saying that if you don't use those programs, if you go around those legal programs that they're offering, then it will go against your eligibility for asylum. Does that make sense? So it's, in other words, if you don't use those legal pathways that they've made, then you'll be barred from getting asylum, subject to a few exceptions. All right, I'm not going to go into those exceptions right here, right now. They're quite narrow. All right, this new program went into effect on May 11th of 2023. So May 11th of last year. And it's continuing right now. And the way the program is announced is it will stay in effect until May 11th of 2025. And we'll see if it gets extended. All right? A lot will depend on whoever the next president will be. Okay? And so if you are in the U.S. and you're fighting for asylum, and if you entered the U.S. after that date, May 11th of 2023, you need to be cautious. You need to discuss your case with a lawyer. All right? Because if you're subject to this circumventing legal pathways issue, then your case might very well be a lot more challenging, especially if you didn't come in using the CBP-1 app or another parole program or other lawful means. All right, is that clear? Okay, is that clear? Again, if you entered the U.S. after May 11th of 2025 and you did not use the CBP-1 app or a parole program or have some kind of visa or other lawful means to enter, then your chances of winning asylum are going to be much more difficult. Okay? Because of this. So you want to talk it through. Now, the other ban is called securing the border, and it's much more recent. Securing the border went into effect on June 5th of 2024, basically a couple months ago. Okay? And it basically says that once border apprehensions are above a certain level, then they're going to make border processing much more difficult for everybody. Okay, and basically they're going to expeditiously remove people, not process people for asylum at all, make people generally ineligible for asylum is the terms that they use. And what they have put in place is essentially what lawyers have come to call a shout test. Like you literally need to shout out to immigration authorities, I'm afraid for my life to return to my country. I'm afraid for my life to return to my country. I'm afraid for my life to return to my country, right? You got to like shout it to the immigration officials. Otherwise, they will presume that you're not eligible for asylum, all right? During these times where border apprehensions are high, which has basically been the situation ever since June 5th, all right, of this year. And it probably won't, it'll probably stay in place basically until future notice, And so if you've entered very recently, chances are you're just going to have a much more difficult time, presenting your asylum case. It's going to be much nastier at the border. They're going to presume you're not eligible, and so you're going to want to talk these things through with a lawyer if you have any questions or doubts about it. Okay. So the point of this is, if you have any doubts, questions, etc., about your eligibility for your asylum case, or if you are currently fighting for asylum in the United States, you want to talk it through with a lawyer. All right. Asylum is more difficult now than ever. It always seems to be increasingly difficult. Okay. And so, and regarding these two Biden asylum bans, they are being challenged in courts. Okay. And so, but right now, these bans are still in effect. And so you got to be aware of it. Okay. And everybody knows asylum law is already very difficult, but these programs make it even more so for people who are entering right now. And, it's also an indication, and I'll just share this, it's like no matter who wins the election, right? No matter who wins the election, the border is not going to be easy for anybody. All right? Like it is closed, it is militarized, it is, walls, fences, barbed wire, not a happy place. And it's not safe to cross it. And it's like, people just need to be very cautious about that. Like, anyway. And the CBP One app, gosh, it's just a horrible, you have to wait months to get an appointment. It kind of defeats the purpose. The government needs to make it better for people because everybody knows that it's like almost defeating the purpose of making asylum more accessible. It's basically forcing people to cross the border unlawfully, and then all these bans just totally destroy their chances of winning their case, which in my opinion undermines the legal point of even having asylum, all right? The point of asylum, you'll remember, is that we want to be a country that protects people who are fleeing for their lives from violence and persecution in their home countries. Like people shouldn't be deported back to a place where their very safety, security, and livelihood is at stake. All right? Like people just shouldn't, people shouldn't be deported back to a place where they're going to die. Right? Or where they even have to worry about whether or not they'll survive. It's just a crazy world we're living in if that's the situation. So, and that's why Congress, that's why this is United Nations Convention on the Status of the Refugees was passed in 1951 after World War II, where, people were fleeing for their lives from Nazi Germany. All right, it's like we got to remember that history and then realize the importance of the critical need for asylum laws. All right, these are not this is not a joke. All right, these are people that are literally facing serious violence. All right, and sometimes I just think lawmakers don't get it. They don't get it. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. That's really all my topic for today, but I got time for some questions. So if you've got questions, send them my way. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, okay? So let's see. Eric Guerrero, hello, thank you. Greetings from Mexico. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Anita, all right. Si tengo petición aprobada, pero del año 2006. Hay algo que se puede hacer. Good question. If I have a petition approved from 2006, is there something that I should do? Well, Anita, deberíamos por lo menos hacer una consulta. All right? We should at least have a consultation. We can look at it, take a look at that petition, see if it's still a pending case. Chances are it's not if it was from 2006, but if it was a spouse petition or if it was a sibling petition or if it was a child petition for you, you know, all of these things have different processing times, and so we can look at it. You know, sibling petitions, it might still be pending, waiting for the processing priority date to become current. Okay? So, Dulce, tengo ya VAWA aprobada por mi hija. Estoy casada con ciudadano. La última vez que entré fue y no veo la fecha, pero tengo deportación en la frontera. Okay. Okay. So I'll translate that into English. For everybody who's watching, I'm going to do this whole episode in Spanish at 11 o'clock. All right, so in 30 minutes. And so we can do this in Spanish. Podemos hacerlo 100% en español a las 11. But for now, we're doing this in English. So Dulce, congrats that you have your VAWA approved. All right. And you might, if you have a deportation, if it's really a deportation, then you might not be eligible to adjust status through VAWA. You might be stuck with what we call a prima facie determination, which can give you a work permit through VAWA, but not a green card. All right? However, sometimes people think that they were literally, quote unquote, deported at the border, and sometimes it was not processed as a deportation. And so my best advice for you, Dulce, is to request the FOIAs, to really, like the Freedom of Information Act request, FOIAs, so that we can really see, what those records say and show, because you might be eligible for a green card through VAWA, is what I'm saying. All right? So there's that. And to say that in Spanish, Dulce, for you, because you asked your question in Spanish, si tiene VAWA aprobada por su hija, pues felicidades. Y si tiene deportación, tal vez no va a poder ajustar su estado. ¿Ok? Porque cuando fue en la frontera y si reentró, pues tiene un castigo permanente cuando hay realmente una orden de deportación en su contra. Así que, pero la mejor manera para saber eso sería mandar pedir todos sus FOIAs, sus records. ¿Ok? Podemos hablar de eso después. Si quiere, haga una consulta, no hay problema. All right, so Eric Guerrero. Unfortunately, people lie about the case in order to try to win asylum. You're talking about asylum cases. I mean, yeah, you're right. People, but there's so many penalties for doing that. Fraudulent, they call it frivolous asylum cases. It bars a person for the rest of their lives from ever obtaining any type of immigration status. And so it's like, don't do that. All right, don't do that. If somebody's about to submit any false information on their asylum case, it's like very, very damaging. Do not do that. Okay? So Camila Ramirez, hola, saludos desde Mexico. Hey, thank you. Saludos, gracias. All right? And so Dulce, si me iba a combinar más tarde con usted más tarde. Okay, all right, háblanos, all right? Llámanos, no hay problema. All right. I think that's all that we have. I see folks here on TikTok. Thank you for everybody watching me here on TikTok. Dulce, Camila, Eric. Lots of these questions came in through TikTok. Anita, hello here on TikTok. And Raniel, Emmanuel, Aries, and others here on Instagram, hello to you. Everybody who's watching on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn, hello to each of you. Thank you all so much. All right, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. And so before we wrap up, I like to give a brief empowerment tip. All right, this is the Empowered Immigrant Live. You know, my empowerment tip today is about financial literacy. All right, a lot of my clients is like, yeah, they want to win immigration status so that they can make more money. All right, a lot of it is related to finances. And so I want to encourage people to take on the challenge. I've had to do this, to take on the challenge of creating more financial literacy. And my tip for you, and I've found that this is helpful for me, is that if you want more money and if you want more financial success in your life, all right, create a budget. It's a budget, right? A budget is like, sounds simple to do, and yet it's actually powerful. It's basically creating a plan at the beginning of each month where you're choosing proactively how you're going to spend your money this month. All right? And you allocate, hey, I want this money to go to this. I want this money to go to this. I want to save this much, right? If you do that, if you create a plan, then when you get paid, you're much less likely to just go spend it on, hey, there's a concert coming into town, or hey, my friends are coming over and we'd like to grab, let's have a big barbecue and grab, a 12-pack of beer or whatever, right? Because we want to party it up. Well, wait a second. Let's allocate some money to that, but let's not overspend on that because I got a plan, all right? Or whatever the situation is, it'll make you more likely to reach your goals. Like, if you're currently undocumented in the U.S., you know that one day, eventually, you're going to need to hire an immigration lawyer. All right? Like, you could start budgeting that in. You could literally start setting aside a small amount of your savings every month for that future purpose. Same thing if you want to buy a house. Same thing if you want to start a business. Same thing if you want to accomplish something big in your life. Plan for it. Plan for it. And that's what budgets allow people to do. It's what budgets allow me to do. Okay? So I wanted to share that today. If you're married, create a budget with your spouse. All right? So much friction in marriage is caused by financial disagreements. All right? So if you create an agreement with your spouse at the beginning of each month, it's like it helps, and set aside a budget for for going out on a date or for doing something together. Anyway, these are all tips. Hope it's useful. Hope it's helpful. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. This is the Empowered Immigrant Live. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. If this was useful, if this was helpful, my ask is to please give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a like, something on the platform that you're watching me on. And if you really want more content, my best advice is to go to our channel in YouTube. Quick YouTube search, Landerholm Immigration. All right? And you can find our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell, and you can be notified whenever we upload an additional video with updates and news and stuff that's going on in immigration law, because my goal is to keep every single one of my viewers informed about what is happening in the world of immigration law so that you are empowered to make good decisions. Okay? That's all I got for my episode today. Thank you all so much again. My name's Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And I'll see you next time on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. And if you speak Spanish, join us at 11 a.m. in 20 minutes, where we'll do this episode in Spanish. Muchísimas gracias. Thanks to everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.